Today I'm going to talk about Grand Central Terminal. I love bringing guests to Grand Central Terminal because they immediately recognize it from almost every movie and every television show that's ever been filmed in New York City. Everything from Superman to Men in Black to Carlito's Way to Madagascar to Gossip Girl. Now, if you want to sound like a true New Yorker, you're going to say Grand Central Terminal and not Grand Central Station. What is the difference between a terminal and a station? Well, a station is something that a train passes through. A terminal is where the trains terminate. All of the trains at Grand Central Terminal terminate or end at Grand Central Terminal. When you walk into Grand Central Terminal, one of the first rooms that you enter is the main concourse. It is absolutely gorgeous. If you look up at the ceiling, you're going to see this beautiful painted zodiac ceiling where you'll see many different symbols of the zodiac. Now, the ceiling is full of these secrets about Grand Central Terminal. There's this black rectangle. It looks like a black brick or a piece of black duct tape. It's very difficult to find, and I challenge you to find it for yourself if you go to visit Grand Central Terminal. What this is, it's leftover cigarette smoke. You used to be allowed to smoke inside of Grand Central Terminal. You could smoke cigarettes, cigars, and pipes, and all of that cigarette smoke wafted up to the ceiling. There was so much smoke on the ceiling that people forgot that there were beautiful stars on the ceiling. And then Grand Central Terminal was landmarked, and they said, oh, we're a landmark, we should clean ourselves off. So they started to clean off all of that smoke. They said, whoa, there's a beautiful, beautiful painting up here. And they decided to leave behind a little tiny patch of smoke as a memory of Grand Central Terminal's past. Now, if you look all around Grand Central Terminal, there are these beautiful engravings, and you will find hidden acorns. The reason for this, Grand Central Terminal was the brainchild of a man named Cornelius Vanderbilt. He made his fortune in the shipping industry and the railroad industry. He actually created what would go on to become the Staten Island Ferry, which, by the way, is absolutely free today. He made his second part of his fortune in the railroad industry. And because he was working in the railroad industry, he felt that New York City needed a beautiful train terminal. Now, Cornelius Vanderbilt was apparently very obnoxious, and he loved to tell the story about how he started out as but a wee little acorn, and he grew into a giant oak tree. So there'd be acorns and oak leaves all over the terminal. Now, one of the most famous places for you to find one of these acorns, in the middle of the main concourse, underneath that zodiac ceiling, there is this beautiful clock with these giant opal faces on 4 different sides of that clock. On top of the clock, you will find an acorn. Now, that clock, the urban legend is that it is valued at $20 million. So if you're Carmen Sandiego, that's what you want to steal from Grand Central Terminal. When I bring guests to Grand Central Terminal, often their favorite thing in the whole terminal is the Whispering Gallery. The Whispering Gallery is located underneath the main concourse, and it's actually right next to a really wonderful restaurant called the Oyster Bar. I'm from Florida, my boyfriend's from Maine, and my mom is from Maryland. We know seafood, and we love the Grand Central Terminal Oyster Bar. It's one of our favorite seafood restaurants in the city. Now, just outside of this restaurant, that is where you're going to find the Whispering Gallery. To fully experience this, you're going to want to bring a friend, and you and a friend are going to stand kitty corner from one another in the Whispering Gallery, and you're going to point your nose towards the wall. So it's like facing the inner corners of the Whispering Gallery. And you are going to talk or whisper. And the sound is going to travel up and over these Gustavino tiles in the ceiling to the other corner. It makes me feel like I'm in Harry Potter every time that I get to use the Whispering Gallery. That's also right next to the great food hall, the food terminal inside of Grand Central Terminal. It's a wonderful place to eat. Everything is a local New York City chain. And every time I go, I like to pick up a donut from the Donut Plant, which is my favorite donut in New York City. If you visit New York City, Grand Central Terminal does offer free tours on a daily basis. I also highly recommend that you get a licensed New York City tour guide to help you discover all of the secrets of Grand Central Terminal, because you could spend hours in there discovering every single nook and cranny. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation about Grand Central Terminal. I hope that you learned something and discovered something new to love about New York City. Thank you for experiencing the Big Apple from home.